Coding made easy.
So what's up everybody, and welcome to your next Joomla made easy tutorial. And in this tutorial we are going to get our website up, and we're actually going to install Joomla on our web host. Now this tutorial, I believe a lot of you guys are going to hate it. I really think you guys are going to hate me for this tutorial because I made a huge error the last tutorial, and it was an honest mistake, but because it's an honest mistake, you guys are really gonna hate me. So if you go if we go to the web host website, which I told you to, or which I recommended, and we log in, and we go to the C panel. If you look at the right, it says the PHP version is 5.2. Meaning that it only supports the maximum PHP version it supports is the 5.2 series. I took it, 000 web host always says that they are up to date with their PHP, and so I didn't even check the PHP version, which was very careless of me, but I just assumed since they said they were up to date that they would at least be 5.3. But they're not, and because they're not, when you click your domain name, you might get an error message or something saying like this web host isn't supported, or you might get a different error message. If you manage to use a different web host or whatever and it supports 5.3, then you're fine. You're good to go. But if you haven't, then Joomla 3.3, the Joomla 3 series, only supports the minimum version of 5.3, and therefore it will not work. So what I want you to do is to try and click on your domain. If you get a Joomla installation window like so, if you get an installation window like so, that means you did it right, and you don't have to worry about it. But if you don't get that window, then what you're gonna have to do is either use a different web host. I never used this one before, but I've heard good things about this one free hosting, and their PHP version is up to date. Or you can still use 000 web host since you've already gotten that set up. But what you have to do is go to joomla.org. And once you go to the download section, instead of downloading the 3.1, download Joomla 2.5. That supports PHP 5.2. And in my honest opinion, for my website, I use Joomla 2.5 mainly because Joomla 3.1 is new, and it's really good, and it has a lot of features, but a lot of the components and modules and stuff, which I'm going to be showing you later tutorials, don't really support Joomla 3 or are unstable, or there's just not a lot of modules or components for Joomla 3 yet. So if you want to add a lot of cool features to your website without having to code them, then Joomla 2.5 is a better solution, and I probably should have mentioned that in the last tutorial. Sorry for that. But anyways, it's always good to have Joomla 3 and later, because the latest version of a product most times is always better. Anyways, so what you have to do is if you're doing the reinstallation process again, then you're gonna have to download Joomla 5, do the exact same thing you did before. But what you have to do is highlight all of these, delete it, right clicking the delete key, or just right clicking and saying delete. And then you're gonna have to do the exact same thing to upload it. So depending on the speed of your computer, it could take a while, maybe half an hour to an hour. So I'm really sorry about that. But that's your only solution from this point on. So anyways, once you've done that and you type in your domain name, it should automatically put /installation/index.php. Now, depending on which language you want your you want your installation process to go through, you will click that. So most of you will click English. So you click English and you'll click next. Don't really worry about this stuff. You can read it. You can go through all this stuff. If this is really important to you, you can read through it, but it's really not all that important. Click next. You can read this if you like. You don't need to. And we're gonna click next. Now in order for Joomla to work, Joomla works by storing things in a database, and it gets information and stores information inside a database. So what we have to do is create a database. So what you want to do is go to your cPanel, and you want to scroll down to where it says MySQL. And so we're going to create a database name, a username, and a password, and another password. So let's see. Let's just say call this Joomla. We'll call the user the same name. You can make the username and the database name different. It's really up to you. But since this is a tutorial series, I don't really care for now. And I'll just put in a password. And so we will create this database. Oh, I have to create letters and numbers. So I don't really care if you see the password and stuff, just because I just put in a demo password for this database. I don't really care much about the site. But so make sure you put a secure password, because if people can access your database, then they can destroy your website. So try and make it as secure as possible if you can. Now, do not keep the screen open, because you're gonna need some of the values from here. Now, most times on your web host, the host is gonna be localhost, but on this web host, it's what it states right here. So what you want to do is copy and paste that and put it in the host name. For the database type, most likely is going to be MySQLi, which it probably says right there. So just leave it at that. So for the username, it's the username that you've inputted. So, well, the database and username are the exact same. So just highlight this right here, and you want to paste that there, and the database name is the same, and just input the password that you put in. Now for the table prefix, if you've ever done MySQL or anything with whenever you add a data to the table, you can have table names, and what this does is that it adds a prefix to your table names or whatever. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna put CME underscore as a prefix, and we don't have any existing backup tables from former whatever, so it doesn't matter whichever one you select. And we're gonna say next. So if it succeeded, then you'll get to FTP configuration. If you enter something wrong, it's gonna say you entered something wrong, and you're gonna have to re-enter the information. For this, you can ignore it. You don't have to enable anything for FTP. I never really do it. So you just click next. Now your website name, it could be anything you want. It's just gonna show up as meta. If you read this, it's gonna show up on the back end of your website. So I'm just gonna put coding made easy. Just put in your email right here. So like when people register on your website, I think it's gonna send them a registration from this email. And so you need to have you gotta have a login username and a username and a password. Sorry. So and you know what, I'm gonna change up the password a little bit, just because I don't want other people to log into the back end and kind of like screw up the tutorial series. But I will release the password when the series is done, so you guys can mess around with it. So okay, so I've changed that, and this is gonna say, do you want to install sample data? So what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to install the sample data, because if we don't install the sample data, it's going to leave us with a blank web page. But the sample data gives us kind of like a template and everything, and certain things to work off of. So we want to install sample data, and once we're done that, we're going to click next. And once you're greeted with the screen, you're going to see remove installation folder. You need to remove it for security reasons and to actually run your website. And once it's removed, then you can click the site or administrator. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click site. And when you click the site, you're greeted with this. So it looks, it looks kind of ugly. Well, kind of looks ugly to me, but you're given with a set template, and by installing the sample data, it installs all these sample content and all these modules and components, and installs that for you and all these menu items. But you can see what your page layout can be like. You know what I mean? So you can oh, that'll bring the Joomla website to the Joomla website. And so it can show you a basic layout of what your page can be like, and you can replace these different pictures with a bunch of different things. You replace these links, you can replace the text, and so on and so forth. And with that being said, I'm just going to show you quickly, just show you the back end quickly. So what you do to access the back end, you do that and then type in administrator. Now, if you don't want it to be that obvious, or you don't want people to access your administrator, you can change a value in your htaccess, or what you could do is change this folder name to something that people wouldn't likely guess or whatever. So anyways, once you get there, then you will type in your username and your password. So you'll log in to your backend, and once you get into the backend, this is where you can rearrange what the users can see on the front end. So I'm just going to do a quick change to show you how cool this is. So I go to my main menu, and I'm just going to go to let's see, sample sites. And so I'm going to change sample sites. I'm going to change the menu title name to blah blah, whatever. Gonna say save or save and close or whatever. Refresh the page, and as you can see, it says blah blah right here. The way they set up this website, they didn't set this as the main menu. They set the main menu right here. But as you can see, it's changed to blah blah down there. So if I want to change this website, this name right here, as you can see, there's a bunch of different menu types. There's a bunch of different menu types, and I just have to find which menu it is. I think it's user menu, or it's probably top. And as you can see, yeah, I see right here, and I can change this to tutorial or something. Save and close. Refresh the page, and voila, it changed to tutorial. So I'm just gonna end this tutorial here. I hope you enjoyed this. In the next tutorial, we're gonna actually get more in depth in how to edit your website, add a few things to it, adding brand new templates and all that cool stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe, and bye for now.